What is going on, guys? Baint from R8X Digital, a marketing agency built by a landscaper for landscapers. And in this video, I'm going to be going over 2 sales tips that you can use to get you more deals and sign more clients, right? So I've personally used both of these in my own landscaping business and have seen great success with them. So I'm going to share them with you guys today, and I hope you find some value in this. So the first one is to get the client to say yes by saying no. Now, let me break this down. So especially in a sales conversation, right? People are so used to being bombarded by the pushy salesman and the annoying telemarketer that whenever they're being sold to, they instinctively want to say no. And there's a couple of reasons. For one, like I said, most of the time salespeople are annoying. And two, in the context of a sales conversation, the end goal of the conversation, if the salesman wins, is that person, the client, being separated from their money. And people generally don't like to be separated from their money. Now, even though they've come to you and asked you for your service, generally speaking, people are still on the defensive when they're in a sales conversation. So they are more likely to say no to anything than they are to say yes, because when they say yes, it feels like they're making a commitment. And especially when it's a financial commitment, they're less likely to want to do so. So the trick here is to get them to say no and really say yes. So let me give you the exact line that I use. And this is something I learned from Alex Hormozi, super awesome, knowledgeable guy. If you don't know who that is, look him up. You will thank me later. So the exact line that I would use when I was out like on bids, or even if I was setting up the time to come do an estimate. Now you can use this to do what I just said, set estimates or upsell services. There's a bunch of creative different ways that you could use this exact line. And what I would say was something along the lines of like, hey, would you be against us coming by on Wednesday at like 3 p.m. to come take a look at the property? And the trick there is, would you be against XYZ, right? And they're saying, well, in their mind, they're thinking, oh, well, no, I wouldn't be against that. So them saying, no, I wouldn't be against it is really them saying yes to whatever you just mentioned after that, right? So this is the psychology behind it. This is how we get them to say yes by saying no. Another example, something like, hey, would you be against us trimming those hedges out in the backyard too? We're already going to do the ones in the front. Why not just make the whole property look good? You know, something like that. And they're like, oh, well, no, you know what? Now that you say that, like, I guess I wouldn't be against it. So yeah, sure, go ahead. And boom, upsell. Easy peasy cake, right? So the trick here, get them to say yes by saying no. Bunch of different ways you can do that. That's just one example. And this can be applied to so many different situations. Get creative with it. Use this one. Let me know how it goes. Trust me, you're going to see great results with it. Now, the second one is more of just kind of a general psychological thing. I guess the first one is too, but this one is a huge thing. And if you can manage to do it successfully, I think you're going to notice that your conversion rates start to go up. And with landscaping services, we have the beauty of most of the time we are either, talking to the client in person. A lot of times, like for me, like 99% of jobs, I would like go to the property, walk around it with the homeowner, the person that's making the decision, hopefully. And because we have the ability to close most of our deals in person, face to face, you don't deal with the same struggles that you would deal with if you're like cold calling or emailing and texting and all these other things, right? So in the context of this conversation, you have the ability to read a person's body language. You probably instinctively kind of know how they're feeling, especially when you start to drop price tags, watching their body language, their facial expression. If they kind of start to lean away, tense up, get a little bit more distant, like they're probably going to say no. If they seem relaxed and seem cool with it and they don't seem too phased by when you drop the fucking price bomb on them, then, most of the time they're likely to say yes. But a big factor in this is, again, kind of similar to getting them to say no by saying, or get them to say yes by saying no, where it's like people don't want to be forced. People don't want to feel like they're being pressured into making a decision. Now, a lot of times people are turned off by this because, again, of the pushy salesman, the guy that's trying to, give me your credit card, buy, buy now, XYZ. Just, a million, exactly what I'm talking about. I don't need to over explain that. So a quick way, an easy way that you can eliminate the pressure that they feel to make a decision is say something along the lines of, well, you don't need it done today, do you? You don't need the lawn cut today, do you? You don't need that tree cut down right now, do you? And they're like, oh, Okay, well, I guess I don't. You're right. This can at least wait till tomorrow. So what happens when you say that is in their mind, instantly that barricade and that, defense mechanism that they've put up to, kind of, you know, push you out and really make you try hard to convince them. And also that like separation anxiety that they have with their money. Like they don't want to necessarily just make it easy for you. Sometimes they do, and that's great. We love those kind of clients, but generally speaking, sometimes people need to be convinced a little bit, and sometimes people don't want to be convinced, and sometimes people genuinely just need a day to think about it. Now, I hate getting that, especially the guys that are like, "Oh, let me go talk to my wife and see what she thinks." She wears the pin. She's the decision maker. You know what I mean? You got a wife. You got to run it by her first. Those are the dudes that never call back. But sometimes people genuinely just need a day to think about it. And so if you can do this right here and eliminate the pressure that they feel to make that decision, they're more likely to go with you even if they need a day to think about it. And this is a big thing that I noticed is, first of all, you should always be following up with your leads, especially people that you've gone and spoken to in person and given them an estimate. But typically we'd wait a day, maybe 2 days, depending on the type of person it was. But we noticed a big difference that if we used this line or something like this to help eliminate the pressure that they were feeling, not only were they more likely to close the deal with us in person in that day, in that moment, shake hands, and before we leave the property, we've got an agreement and when we're going to come do the job. But also for the people that said, I need a day to think about it, they were way more likely to say yes on the follow-up if we used something like this where they didn't feel as pressured. So hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about, got some value from that. If you'd like some more sales tips, let me know. This is something that I'm pretty passionate about. This is something that I like a lot. Psychology and all that kind of stuff is just genuinely interesting to me. And I think that it's something that can be beneficial because I know that a lot of the sales, I guess, situations that I was in when I first started my landscaping business, I was going in blind and had no idea what I was doing. And at first I was like a little nervous to talk to clients, a little nervous to, tell them what my prices were and stuff like that. So it's like, that's all stuff that you get over with in time. And then once you kind of get your feet wet with it and you're comfortable with all that, that's when you can start implementing stuff like this and like sneaky little lines that, help you close more deals and stuff like that. So hope you guys like that video. Like I said, if you want to see more, drop a comment, let me know. If you guys need help with your website, digital marketing, SEO, Facebook ads, Google business profile optimization, anything like that, I'd love to help you out. You can book a call with me down below if you need assistance with any of those things, or if you want help coming up with just kind of a general marketing strategy for your landscaping business. Would love to be of assistance for you in that department. But until next time, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.